Welcome to the Dickie and Donny Show, presented by Business on Purpose. I am one of your co-hosts. My name is Brandon. This is Shawn. I go
Who are
as
you?
Donny, and you go as Dickie. We are Dickie and Donny. If you want to know why, figure it out some other time. This isn't the time. But we're pumped to be
No
with you today.
thanks, no time.
Dickie,
Donnie,
what's something that people don't know about you?
I love playing ping pong. I played a good amount of ping pong this weekend. My girls were out of town, and me and the boys went to the arcade, played some pinball, drank some cold beverages, and played ping pong to my heart's content.
Good for you. That's
hmm
awesome.
I was a
You
little
play, what do
disappointed
y'all play? Like just games to 21, winner
at
stays?
21. Yeah, I just stay on the table basically. That's
Okay,
how I roll.
yeah.
My son's
Okay.
also 12, so that's why.
Well, I remember there's this, my dad, we lived in a house that was built in the 1800s, the late 1800s. So we had like closets. We literally called them spider closets because that's all there was, because they were original door handles, locks didn't work, all that. But upstairs was this little landing just big enough for a ping pong table and then a few feet, 2 to 3 feet behind it. So you're like back is up against the wall,
Tight game.
or your like waist is up against. It was very tight. And my dad was electric. He was in the college marching band. The trombone is what he played. The Fighting Hoosier marching band, Fighting 100. I don't know what they call themselves. Go Hoosiers. And they played a ton of ping pong, and he was ridiculously good. And I got so good at defense because I had no other, like, I couldn't scoot back, I couldn't swing full. But man, ping pong holds a
That's why you're
special
so
place
good
in
at
my.
Fortnite, man. You got that eye-hand coordination, that tight, just like you got
I'm
it
really
down.
bad at that. You know what? The one video game I've been good at in my life was Guitar Hero.
That's a classic, bro. That's
It
a
is a
good one.
classic. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it's not, it's kind of hand-eye coordination. It's more the feel of
hmm
things. And being in band, I had some rhythm.
Yeah, you're good at clicking buttons. I tell you what, you're really good at punching buttons,
Why
doing
don't you tell me what
spreadsheets,
that means? Oh, that. Okay. I didn't know if you meant like
spreadsheets.
poking buttons. It's like, I'm a
No,
nice guy.
spreadsheets, keyboards. Like you're just a keyboard warrior, bro.
When I was a teacher and kids would make fun of me for whatever reason, because it's appropriate now, I guess, to make fun of your teachers. Can't paddle the kids anymore like you used to. And I would
Mhm.
always make them do a speed typing test in front of the whole class, and I just whoop them. And there was so much like,
Dang.
I'm better than you because of this. And
Wow.
they wore it, and they wore it hard, and they'd go practice and they still couldn't beat
Did
me.
you do Mavis
Uh,
Beacon teaches typing? Do you know that one, or is that? But I just date
No, I did
myself.
not know. I knew what it was. My typing came from AOL Instant Messenger when there were
Oh
girls that
yeah.
I liked, and it like
Mhm.
I taught myself to. I still don't type correctly when you think of any sort of lesson
The
you'd
pinkies
ever
are hard to
take.
use. I mean, it's just
Um,
hard to do that.
but in my mind, the quicker I could get a message to said girl, and I'm
hmm
thinking of like, I literally remember their like names, their usernames that I like when they'd pop online, of the endorphins, whatever it was, in an eighth grade
Well,
boy would just
you were talking to
flare.
six girls at one time, dude. I mean,
Yeah, I got to navigate it,
that's how
man.
D3 athletes
Um,
roll, bro. Especially when you drive a
yeah,
GMC Sonoma.
yeah, a low level, not low level, well, a lower level collegiate team driving a lower level truck, talking to multiplicity of women at once, not landing any of them. I landed one, and that makes my wife sound bad because I finally got one. But no, my wife is great. You've met her.
I like Popey. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
wonderful.
she's great.
Uh,
She's great. She's also a
what
child, which we've all talked about. But
what? Okay, what was
what?
your first AOL screen name that people don't know about you?
The first one is not exciting. I'll tell you the second one.
Okay,
The
fair.
first one was like Brandon with the eight. It was like my baseball number, football number, basketball number. So just Brandon with those numbers after it. So nothing crazy. The second one, what came from, I'll say the school. I played school for basketball for a school called Westfield, and we were playing against a crosstown, not even a rival. They're just in a town over called Tipton. Tipton had some girth on their team, big
hmm
boys.
hmm
And during while the B team played, the A team sat behind the bench. While the A team played, the B team sat behind the bench. Well, I had the privilege to play on the A team, so
Okay.
starting power forward. And during the B team game, we were up 42 to nothing, legitimately 42 to nothing
Holy cow.
in a two
Mercy
quarter
rule.
basketball game. Right, there
Yeah.
wasn't one. And they had, God bless his soul, he's probably fit as heck now. He's probably got one of those stories on TikTok you could follow, but he
Yeah.
was a big
Right.
boy back then. And the song, I can't even remember the real words.
Yeah,
Go,
I have no idea where
shawty.
this is going.
It's your birthday. We're going to party like it's
It's your
whatever it is.
birthday. 50
Well,
Cent. Yeah.
my buddy was like, I don't condone what my buddy said. I want to put that out there because millions of
Mm.
people listen. So my username was something along the lines of like, get your cupcake because I thought it was funny. So,
Get your cupcake. I love that. That's
and I
great.
thought for some reason a girl would be like, that's the guy that I want to hold hands with
You
at
know
Stomp the
what?
Yard.
I'm gonna share a cupcake with that guy on our wedding day. That's what they saw. They saw a
Yeah.
genuine person.
Hmm.
Do you know what
Hmm.
my first username and only username was?
What?
You better brace for impact.
That's a crazy
Nutcase,
username.
nutcase 911. I I matched the numbers to the word. It was like so perfect. And you can't see Donnie losing it on screen if you're listening to us, but it was so perfect. And I would I would I would direct message my wife after school, after college, nutcase 911, and we'd have
Oh my gosh.
make all our plans together.
That's what she had to call. Hey, save me. Restraining order.
Yeah,
I gotta
Nutcase. What are we talking about today, old Donnie?
man. I don't know about you. we when we meet with business owners, I hear two, we kind of ask, tell me about your business, what roadblocks you're running into. And I would say the problems, the issues, the chaos of our businesses typically fall in one of two categories. Now, we would argue there's purpose, people, process, and profit. And we would even more dissect them into those four. But it's really either they feel like they have money problems or they feel like they have people problems like that.
Hmm.
Generally it's one of those two. It's not very often where they're like, I'm making all the money in the world, my people are great. It really got, it's my pre-construction process. You might get them there eventually, but right away,
Hmm.
no, it's people problems and it's money problems. And I've just had recently a lot of situations where I've had business owners on the phone with me or on a coaching call, whatever it would be, and it's been people problems. There's also the money problems, and we've talked about forecasting and how to get clarity there. But man, if we want to get clarity with our numbers, the clarity we can get with our people, our teams, and the clarity we can give them, and all that. So I think we're talking a little bit about people problems, dysfunctional problems, and chaos within the people side of your business. Because outside of you being a solopreneur, you have people around you. So
And if you want to run a good business, you need to learn to delegate and
yeah,
have people that are working with you and alongside you to build your business, whether that's construction, whether that's a service, whether you're building a widget. It requires people in addition to you to run a business. So you need sales and you need people. So as I've been working with clients recently, this has been just top of mind that the culture and environment of trust has been so critical to build
wow,
as
good,
a foundation. And so if you've read Lencioni's work, I love Patrick Lencioni, great writer, kind of a ADHD, kind of all over the place guy if you listen to him publicly speak. But his base foundation in the Five Dysfunctions book is the absence of trust in a team. And so if there is
that
not
starts it.
trust,
That's the
that's the
baseline.
bottom of the base of the pyramid is the absence of trust. And I don't know if you've ever worn sunglasses or dark glasses, but it's hard to see through those, right? And so if you have an absence of trust in your team and if you have an absence of trust with each other, you're looking through really dark glasses and you're going to have a hard time seeing the bright spots per se
Hmm.
because you're so used to wearing those glasses. Now, if you're able to build trust, you'll start seeing things accurately. I had a client, this is a week or two ago, and they said something to the effect of, I got surprised. I keep getting surprised a lot from my boss or our owner. And I said, well, surprises can be a good thing. Hey, you got a bonus. Surprise. Hey, we
Yeah.
got an
We
hey,
found a cupcake.
you got a cupcake. We got a new sales contract, but it was the micromanagement surprises. And I
Right.
said, the surprises are neutral. It's your experience of the surprise. There's
Yeah.
distrust in your relationship
The
that
whole
needs to be
thing.
worked
Yeah.
out that, I'd say if Thomas or Thomas or Dot came to us and said, hey, we're going to run this thing, we'd probably be like, all right, let's run it. We wouldn't
Let's
have
rock. Yeah.
distrust in the leadership per se, but that's also because
Yeah.
we're really focused on building a culture that's transparent.
That's right. And even the worst text you can get from your wife is what? What is it?
We need to talk. 4
right?
words.
I mean, it's the
Yeah.
worst. And I think, from an employer or a boss or something like, hey, we need to talk, or do you have 5 minutes to chat today? It's almost like, what did I do wrong? I literally called a client months ago and I called him. He's like, is everything okay? What did I not do? What did I forget to do? And I was like, I need to call you more because I'm literally calling you to tell you that I listened to the song you've been asking me to, whatever it was, but he just
Yeah.
immediately jumped. So
Do
there
you
was a
have
level.
childhood trauma
um,
that's unresolved?
Me,
Yeah,
a lot.
immediately jumping to fact, I screwed something up.
A lot.
Yeah,
Yes. And
should we deal with that today, or should we do that next week in our Dickie and Donnie podcast?
let's not today. I won't commit to
Okay.
next week either. But yes, there's a lot of childhood trauma that is baked into everything that I do. And I think that you could honestly, I mean, that's kind of it's not really a joke. That is true. But to bring it back, like it all does stem from lacks of trust in different areas. So,
Totally.
okay, you mentioned these five dysfunctions of a team. We have this lack of trust at the bottom. I have a business owner that I worked with for a year and a half, almost 2 years. Their company, this was language that, you're around BOP, you hear vision without implementation equals hallucination. You hear liberating business, you hear the language because you're a part of it, right? It's a part of it. And their language used the term the currency of trust. Trust was a currency. So
Mm,
money was attached to it, but the money exchanging hands was not the currency they were after. They needed it, like it allowed them to stay awake, but the currency they were after was trust. So you think of they built big custom homes. So from the beginning meeting of somebody, how do we give the currency of trust immediately? And how do we make sure we get something from them? And
mm,
they had meetings where they would decide, is this a meeting where we're spending trust or are we getting trust? Like, are
mm.
we accounts
Like a
receivable
bank
or
account.
accounts payable?
Yeah.
Exactly. And they had an intention, and it was like, great, this is a meeting for us to give. We are spending this trust. We will not get anything in return. And then occasionally they'd get some back and it'd be like, ooh, that was a little bonus. And then they had
Mhm.
meetings when it was like, okay, we have laid all of our cards on the table. We've given our trust. We now need this from them. And if they did or
Mhm.
didn't, it had different triggers with it. But I thought that was an interesting idea. Ultimately, you do like there's a financial piece to business and needing to stay alive and needing to pay all of his employees. And at times we had to downsize and there were different market elements involved. But that idea of a currency of trust was really grabbing, actually.
So
Um,
it's applicable, as I've done a lot of relationship marriage counseling. If your trust account is at zero, every micro infraction becomes bankruptcy. So
mhm.
it may be innocuous, simple little tasks, asks,
Forgot
emails,
to take
but
the trash out.
yeah. Oh, you forgot to take the trash out. Why do you hate me? Why do you
Yeah,
want our
right,
marriage to end?
right.
And you're like,
Yeah,
I just forgot to take the trash out. So this is
yeah.
exactly what happens in business is you get this cycle, this downward cycle of constant bankruptcy.
Hmm.
They start hitting you with the overdraft fees and this and that. And unless you rebuild that foundation of trust with the right amount of check-ins, with team meetings, with clarity on roles, with clarity of expectations, there's a lot to mechanically, technically build out that would allow you to then fill that up with trust. But if you don't, you're
Man,
just so then they're like every day becomes just a bankruptcy, and it's so painful
man.
to be in.
It's I'm gonna go not totally off kilter here, but
But
we
it's
talked
fine if
about
you
money
do.
problems and people problems, and we're talking about one of the main stems of people problems comes from a lack of trust. But I think you could even dial it back to saying even that starts with a lack of process, and here's why. I'm thinking of you going
Mm,
on an airplane, and they give you the spiel: click your ticket this or your seatbelt this way. But when the little air mask comes down, what do they always tell you? They always say, "Hey, put yours on first. You have to put yours on first before you can then go help others
mhm,
because of X, Y, or Z." And I'm sitting here thinking, man, to be able to ask someone to trust you, hey, if I'm the business and you're the client, Dickie, I want you to trust me. Like, hey, we've done this many times. Look at our portfolio. Look at all of our documentation. Like, we have all this. Trust us. That actually, the preface to that is the ability to trust in your own self to be able to say, trust me when your first ever sale, it's going to be really hard to say, "Hey, trust all the work I've done before." There is no work. So
mm,
you have to get some stuff first. And that makes me run to like there's a set we have to have our processes dialed. We have to have our processes trained. We have
yes.
to have our processes repeatable to be able to say, "Trust me." But that's just to the client. You think internally, and it's like, yeah, well, the owner still has to, an owner of a business or a boss for any type of management, whatever it is, has to be able to say, like, hey, trust me in this. I trust you. Trust me in this. This is why you should trust me because I trust that what I'm asking you to rely on is valid. It's true. It's genuine. It's intentional. It's all of these things.
And I
Um,
love that you said, if you don't have process, distrust is going to fill it in. So, for example, a hiring process, if you don't have a clear multi-step
yeah.
written out hiring process that tests for personality, that tests for
Yep.
culture, DNA fit, like the way that they would interact with your team, are they equipped to do the job? If you don't have that process and you get the wrong person in, immediately there's going to be trust problems because
Yep.
there's a lack of clarity, there's a lack of fit. So I've seen a lot where owners are trying to square peg round hole their leadership.
Jeez.
And
And communication is crucial around it. I have a homeowner or a client, they build homes and they build primarily single family, pretty large, fully custom work. They also dabble in some semi custom work where it's a preset list. They do a little bit of remodel and they used to do multifamily. So they have all these pieces. When I started with them, they were doing all of it because the more money I can make, the more money I'm making. False. It sounds weird,
Mhm,
but a dollar's not a
mhm,
dollar. Go listen to the financial tune up. Dollar's not a dollar. But what on his vision he laid out is I want to be done with multifamily. It's out of our scope. It's not what we want to
mm,
do and all this. Well, what his and they used to have kind of the market share of all the work of their town, right? They just didn't manage it well. So his employees saw a huge multifamily unit going up that was being built by somebody else and it wasn't them. But he never communicated to his team, hey, by the way, I'm trying to get out of this. What they
mm.
assumed is we've lost our magic sauce. And
Wow.
it was this like, there started to be these ruffles of so and so's upset, so and so feels like they might get fired. And you're like, everything's great. We're
Mm.
good. What do you mean? Things have
More
never been
aligned than
better.
ever. Right.
Yeah, but the communication of the like there was no trust between the employee and the owner, but it
Mm,
also like did fall on the owner because he didn't communicate his vision, write the vision down so those who read it may run. Well, if you don't write it down, you don't have it
mm.
verbalized. I know that's a little different. I'm just that trust is so huge. It's so
Great.
huge.
So maybe some symptoms of this. I wrote down, 5 different symptoms that you can use. And if you see
All right.
these, maybe indicators that trust is not as strong as you'd like. First, how
One,
easy is it for people to ask for help?
how easy is it for people to ask help? That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Number two, is there lightness and fun in your team meetings, or is there dread of going to a
So good.
all team
Repetition,
meeting?
predictability, and meaning. I'm guessing if there's no repetition or predictability, there is dread. All right.
Yes.
I don't have it either.
Number
So
three, is your communication genuine? If your communication is not
huge,
genuine, if you don't have transparency, if
huge.
you can't trust what people are saying. Number four, is there a me first mentality on the team? So not team first. Is it me first? Is it what I need, what an employee needs rather than what the team needs? And then number five, are weaknesses or mistakes hidden? And if so, there's an environment that doesn't allow for mistakes to happen and
Mm,
for you to grow through that, which means you're going to be stunted, you're going to repeat the same mistakes, and you're not going to grow as a company. So
man, that's
trust.
good. I brought up a follow up to that would be where are we not who we think we are? Where are we not
Mm,
who we say we are? I'm brought up of a recent, call it a scandal, and I don't want to make light of it because there is personal lives involved, but a big time executive getting caught publicly with a director of HR. And that's all I'll say because I really don't want, but where are we not who we say we are? Right? Like that
mhm.
question hits on that. Okay, what's number
Yeah,
six?
that was it. It was five. You made six, which was the where are we not we say we are. So there's
Number
six
six.
now. Look at, they were just on the fly. These are six diagnostic questions you
Even
can ask your
numbers.
team. Yeah.
Okay.
On a
Can
scale
I?
of 1 to 10, boom, you've got an Insta survey to assess your team's health.
That's so good. On a scale of 1 to 6.
On a scale of 1 to
Okay.
4.
So we have two kids. You know this. You have three. I have a third on the way. And the amount of times, Dickie, that people are like, so y'all are going to have a fourth? One, it's none of your business. No, we're not. At least not by our plan. I
Mhm.
haven't had any surgeries to prevent it yet, but not according to our plan.
How does
But
that work?
do you know the number one? I don't know. I'm a business coach. I'm not a doctor. I was a teacher prior to this, but I didn't teach health. Do you know the number one reason people are telling me to have a fourth? You know what it is?
So they each have a friend?
For roller coasters. I mean, I've heard it, I'm not kidding, dozens of
Huh?
times. What are you going to do on a roller coaster? Someone's going to have to sit by themselves. You need to have an even number of kids. I have a friend who had a fourth because his wife said, I don't want anybody to be left out on a roller coaster. Plot twist, one of the kids hates roller coasters, and now someone's left out. And I
That's
think it's
hilarious.
hysterical.
That
But
is
that's
hilarious.
literally the like why to have a fourth is solely because of roller coasters. So
Mhm.
I hate to digress. There's a lack of trust with me and all the people that have told me that. So
Where was this going? What sparked your mind of a fourth kid and roller
six.
coasters?
We had five. Now we have six.
Oh, we
Now we
had
can ride a roller
6.
coaster with our
Yes.
questions.
Dude,
We're ready.
all 6 of our questions ride roller coasters. That's how it
Yes, it's
goes.
even an odd. One of
The
those girls I
roller
used to talk to
coaster
on
of business ownership.
one of those girls I talked to on the instant messenger thing.
Big Cupcake 404.
Big. No one ever mentioned big, first of all.
That's what
So
I
you
heard. I
threw
don't
that in
know.
on your own. Yeah, because that's unfortunately for those that don't know exactly what I look like, Big Cupcake's not a bad call for a nickname, but one of these girls claimed I was so number 8 was my favorite number, it was my baseball
Mm,
number, all this stuff. She says she now has OCD about even numbers because of me. So I must have
mm,
really jacked up there's your cupcake or whatever the thing was.
yeah.
So
Goodness
that's
gracious.
not good. But lack of trust is huge with your people problems.
Lack of trust. Yeah, start there. And then,
So
a lot of us want to get technical about role, definitions, KPIs, metrics. Oh, are we performing? And if we perform
all of
better,
those are important, by the way.
all
All
those
of those
can
are
be
important.
important. But if you don't deal with the root cause of your
Whew,
team hates working together and doesn't trust each other, you could sell everything and still be miserable and go home
that's right.
unhappy people. So
That's right.
get your trust done. All right, Donnie.
Thank you for bringing that to us today. That was good. That lack of trust being the underlying issue between a lot of things is so good.
Yeah, and maybe we could,
Hey,
I know we have a special guest next week, but maybe we could even dive into fear of conflict or lack of
ooh,
commitment. Some of the other
ooh.
Lencioni pieces where I could dig into, but we'll see. I think we
Now,
might
I
have a
do know a little
special.
bit about Lencioni, but there is something that I think of when I hear it. I think of the movie Miracle, and it's
Hmm.
Aruzioni. And he's like, who do you play for? And they all say, I play for Minnesota Gophers. And he's like, again. And they have to keep conditioning
Mhm.
until someone says, and I think it was Aruzioni, Michael Aruzioni. It may not have been, I play for the United States of America. And they're done. You remember that?
Is this the hockey movie?
If you didn't know it by the Miracle, that's sad. That's a great movie.
So I was born in Maryland. I was born in Baltimore, and that's where I get my hard edge from. And then I moved to the South when I was 6. So then I was, North Carolina born and bred. But
Well, you know
you
what
know,
that's like? That's like taking a sharp rock from the north and throwing them in a southern stream. And over time, it just gets real smooth. Just
yeah,
real
just
smooth.
like my face, baby, smooth as a baby's bottom.
Hey, Dickie, I trust you.
I trust you too.
Thanks, Cupcake Boy.
Y'all have a great weekend. I think this will go out
Businessonpurpose.com.
/healthy. We'd love to engage with you. One of the tools we have, I will offer this, is an employee assessment. And I just had 3 linked companies take this, and all of their employees took this employee assessment. And the operator owner said, this was really helpful because I saw some outside 360 views of what people
Yeah,
were seeing in our organization. So if you want to get
so
access to
good.
that, we're happy to run some
Yeah, we'll
workshops,
share that for you for
share
sure.
that, get you running, and assess how if your team sees you as healthy or not.
Yeah. The whole where are we not who we say we are? Why don't you just ask your employees who they think you are? And that'll reveal some things real quick. It's really, really helpful. Really helpful. So, Dickie, good time as always.
Donnie,
Uh,
signing off.
to our
Peace.
listener, thank you for listening again. See ya.
Yes.